Hello there. This is Cheryl with Sew, Glue, and Cheryl 2. If you're catching this part, you're likely catching the replay, so hashtag replay. If you come in and you see the live, it means you caught me live. We are in an event today with Craft Events by Julie. And so while we're waiting to get shared into the group and be live, I'm going to take a moment and get myself pulled up and share myself out so that I don't have to waste too much time doing so. And that for some reason, I've had a real challenge with the internet today, and I do not know why, at work and everything. So that one's still trying to, let me pull this one up and get myself, so I can see my comments and get myself shared out real quick. Okay. All right, this one is ready to go. Hi, Christina. Hi, Lucy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Maybe not. I don't know. We're going to see. It looks like Facebook on my computer has not been the friendliest thing today. All right. Happy Monday, and God bless to you too, Lucy. Thank you, Carla, for sharing me in. I am just going to real quick get myself shared out to a couple places. I have a couple places that I can share to help get ourselves a few more viewers. And thank you if you're sprinkling. Thank you, Christina, for sprinkling me out. I so appreciate it. You're a gem. And Lucy and all my friends. All right. Okay. I don't think I'm going to get as lucky as to be able to see comments there. Hi, Barbara. Welcome in. Thank you. Thank you for sprinkling. I appreciate it. Hi, Michelle. Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay. This is I pulled it together at the last minute kind of craft. So it's patriotic, not necessarily specific to the honor of the fallen, but hey, this is what you get when you fill in. So we are in an event today. It's Craft Events by Julie. The theme was Honor the Fallen. There have been a fantastic lineup today so far of presenters. We had Julie that started at 10 a.m. this morning with Julie's Wood Kits and more. And then we had Nana's Nook, Lori, on at 11. We had Michelle with Pretty Pieces by... Hi, Chris. Welcome in. Thank you, Carla, for sprinkling me out. Hi, Yadi. Welcome in. After Michelle with Pretty Pieces with Michelle, we had Kathy at CC Redesigns. And then we brought in Lindell. So, and that is... Lindell's Craft Escape, I believe, is her page name. Then we had Pokey's Crafting Place with Michelle. And then after her was Carla with Carla's Bayou Creations. We just had Yadi with Yadi's Workshop. Thank you, Yadi, for sprinkling me out. I appreciate that. So we had Yadi's workshop just before me. So now I'm at 6 p.m. Central Time at Cheryl Sew Glue and Cheryl 2. And then after me is Teresa with Teresa L Creations. So stay tuned. And then after Teresa is Barbara with Barbara's Blessed Beginnings. And we appreciate all of you guys being here. And I love and appreciate the fact that you guys are supporting me. So, this, like I said, was kind of a whip it together last minute craft, but I think I came up with something. So I have a board, that had previously been whitewashed for something else. And so I'm going to take this board. I have, so my friend who sometimes she does mostly wreaths, sent over like some stash of stuff. And I had like 3 of these. They look like a little mini pallets. I don't know where she got them from, probably, a donation as well, but maybe from the dollar store. I think that they sell these things, but I did not buy them. But what I did was I took this, because it's a horrible, ugly yellow. So we're going to get rid of that. And I painted it white. So it looks like a little mini palette. I have no idea what they would have normally been planned to use, but we're going to use it. And then I painted it white to get rid of that ugly yellow. So the back, I don't have to paint because it's going to get glued onto the board, but I'm going to do a dry brushing treatment to the board. So I'm going to stick this on the board, and I'm going to stick some flowers down in it. And I did see like something similar to this on Facebook, or not Facebook, Pinterest. That's kind of where it sparked some of the idea for this, but I had been brewing on it for a while. So, and then I have a napkin that I cut 1/4 of the napkin out. So it's a flag napkin, and you can see, so I cut 1/4 of it out, and I'm going to decoupage the napkin onto this palette thing. So let's get things a-moving. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick first so that I can let it dry. And while I'm doing that, then I'm going to go over and do the treatment on the board. So, but anyway, so there's a lot of things happening here at the Hartman household. So I spent Mother's Day with my son packing his stuff so that we could so that he could move home. He has been under a lot of stress on trying to find a full-time job after he graduated college. And so, his father and I decided to suggest if he were to move home, he could save, because they require first and last month deposit, all kinds of things in order to move out. And I don't know a single 21-year-old that has that kind of money to put out at a drop of a bucket in order to move out. So we asked him, or offered for him to come home, live at home for a little while to save up money, estimating about a year, so that he can move out. He works part-time jobs, and so he has money coming in, but on top of that, he was stressing out about trying to find a job as well. So we tried to make it a little bit easier on him. And then he shared with us, just as of recent, that he too has applied for the same ministry school that my husband had applied to and just graduated from. So we're super proud, we're super excited, and looking forward to seeing what God has in store for all of us. He has already started working in my husband's life, because it's been, thank you. Oh, hi. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you coming in and sprinkling. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. He has been huge and instrumental. God has been in my husband's life, because my husband and I were talking, and I think I probably already shared this story with you guys, but so I'm going to take this board. It's, I don't know, it's a 1/4 inch thick board, and I'm going to dry brush kind of a little bit of red and blue. So I have like red, white, and blue. And just to give it a little bit of color for the background. So just kind of dabbing my red paint, and my red paint is what little red apple plaid paint I have left. It's apple barrel plaid. and it's called Red Apple. So, anyway, so, and I am just kind of dry brushing a little bit to kind of give it some interest on this board. And I'm just dabbing off the extra paint. And I may have to come back and kind of wipe a little bit of it off, but I want to give it a little bit of a red, white, and blue, if you get my drift. Okay, so while that is, I'm going to have to soak that now. Let me see. Let me grab another brush. I can use, I'll use my stencil brush because it's a good dry brush. But anyway, so I spent Mother's Day. Oh, wait. Squirrel. Sorry, folks. Okay. Describing to you what happened with my husband. We had a conversation after, because he was coming up on the point where he's going to be graduating this ministry school. The ministry school was really just a point for him, an opportunity for him to learn more about the Bible and the context of kind of some of the things that you may not necessarily understand just by attending church. And so that was the purpose of him going there and kind of learning and living a little bit more about how to have a relationship with God. He ultimately can come out of it with a leadership position within the church if he chooses to do so. However, we were speaking one day, and we were talking about what does life look like after he is done with school. And he said to me, well, maybe we should pray on it and see what God tells us. And I'm like, great, let's do that. Well, to make a long story short, he prayed. I forgot. I went to bed that night because I had had that conversation with my husband in the middle of the day. Your mood's getting to you. I'm sorry. I hope that you have a good night. And I'll pray for you, Christina. But thank you for letting us know. Thank you for coming in and watching for a little bit. So at that point, he prayed. I did not, because I was so tired that day from work and everything that was going on. I forgot to kind of pray on that piece. I always pray, but I didn't pray specifically on that piece. And so here is that red, white, and blue board. And 3 days later, my husband received a message through LinkedIn from the company and said, hey, would you be willing to or interested in interviewing for a position? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he didn't think anything of it. They actually called him up, and 5 interviews and a trip to Pennsylvania later, they hired him. So 2 weeks ago, they sent him to England. I think I was telling you guys a little bit about that. And so he had to go to England for the oil, the food grade oil that they're going to be representing. And so now he is fully an employee and working for the company, and now he will be traveling, which is fine. I've had him traveling. A lot of his jobs had him traveling, and he kind of came out of retirement in order to take this job for the time being, so that we could kind of get a little bit further ahead than we were making, and so we can make more progress on getting ahead, which I'm eternally grateful for, because I think just going off of my paycheck, we probably wouldn't have gotten there very quick. We've gotten there, it just wouldn't be very quick, if you know what I mean. All right. So now I've got this. So now I kind of got, and I don't know, I'll have to decide whether I want to punch through, and I don't know. I'm kind of, the jury is out at the moment if I want to punch through or not. I guess I could. Let me see if I have I do have them somewhere. It's just in my little chaos world of mess. Ah, there they are. Okay, I have an emery board. Compliments of Michelle with Pretty Pieces by Michelle. It's a genius idea. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see what it looks like. I hope I don't regret this. I guess if I don't like it, I could always come back and redo it. But I'm just going to use the emery board in between. Goodness gracious, doesn't like it. All right. We had a lot of really good ideas today to support the theme. I don't know if I'm liking it or not. Kind of hard. This little thing. Okay. Sorry, I was concentrating and trying to. Thank you, Chris. Hi, Jackie. Welcome in. I am, well, essentially wasn't scheduled, but I am filling in because Carla took one for the team and decided and was willing to go live quickly when we had somebody that ended up missing. And so I am filling in for Carla. That's true. That's true. Well, no, the inside is not yellow. The inside is a wood looking color. But I'm thinking, I don't know. I may come back and do this again. I mean, it's not like I don't have an extra one, right? One of these strange yellow looking things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put flowers in it. So it's going to kind of hold some flowers. Let me see. I've got more napkin. You saw I have three more pieces of this napkin. So I am going to... Yeah, well, thank you. It was this, I know you had mentioned it on one of the lives, but I had completely forgotten about it. And when it came today in the mail, I was super excited. I was like, oh, goody. It brightened my, what would have been a Monday. All right. Let me try this side. It doesn't want to come off very easily. I'm making a mess. Making a big mess. This is where Carla and I get along so well. She claims to be a messy crafter. Well, I think I am too. I'm just as messy. All right. Okay, let me see if I can... Yeah. I think I'm going to go back and I'll probably redo the tissue paper over this because it does not look good. It's too ragged for me, but I'll go back and kind of recover that. But essentially, and I can do that while it's on this board. Let me clean off all the, and I think what I want to do is for the efforts, even though I'm going to recover this, I'm going to take a little bit of my, this is dark sealing wax. I think we all probably have that by now. But I'm going to kind of go around the edge and kind of antique it a little bit. And I want to say a big thank you to Michelle with Pretty Pieces by Michelle, because she is responsible for the cute little basket things up here on my shelf to hide my mess. All right. And then I think what I will do is I think I'm going to do the same thing on this board, just around the edge. I'm going to have to, I think it'll kind of at least match it. Make it look old and antique. I guess that's kind of what everybody's looking for. All right. All right. Okay. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. Let me get the, I know, just as soon as I put this down, I'll get all of this napkin. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to glue that on. And I dug through a bunch of stuff that I had. And I have this metal star. So what I thought I would do is put the metal star at the top. Put this here. It's going to be kind of a, and then I do have, so I'm just waiting for the hot glue gun to, so I'm going to glue the star there. The little, oh, I could burn it off. Yeah, just as soon as I do that. Well, I don't have a little fire thing, but the colors make you smile. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm just waiting. Hopefully the hot glue gun, it's starting to get hot. I just got to get it hot enough to be able to glue. And then I have, now this is a bunch of beads and stuff that came from Dollar Tree a while back. Well, probably, I don't know. It came from Dollar Tree anyway. And so I thought maybe I could take this and make it into a hanger. Hi, Kathy. Welcome in. So I thought I would take this and kind of make it into a hanger. I don't know if I'll have to, I don't know if I don't have a way to staple it, but you know, it's called a lighter. But I was also thinking I have one of those fire starter things, but it's like that way in my house, and I'd have to go, I don't even know. You love messing with me, right? It's called, it's called Life Brain. But anyway, so let's see. I think we're good. We're hot with the glue. So we're going to glue. Let me glue this thing down first. And, okay. Ooh. It's hot, all right. It's pumping out the hot glue. Okay. Just going to kind of center it in the board and give it about 1.5 inches above the bottom of the board. Oh, that must be to somebody else. I can't also, let me see if I can tell. Who's that? Oh, that's to Michelle. Okay. All right, so we're gluing that down. And I'll have to fix that. That's just looking messy, and I do not like it. All right, so now we're going to try gluing this red star in the center without burning myself, maybe. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate so I don't burn myself. Okay. Glue strings. So Mother's Day, I spent Mother's Day with my son, packing up him. And I was joking with, it was funny because where my son currently lives, right next to it is a fraternity house. And I saw a couple different sets of moms moving their sons out of the fraternity house, probably for the summer. That's, you know, because they live over by the university. And so there we go. All right. So now what I did was I dug through, let me get this out of the way so I don't stick my elbow in the color. I dug through my flowers, and these are just $1.50, depending upon when they were purchased, from the Dollar Tree. So let me see if I can get this sticker off. It's kind of annoying. And then we'll start sticking some flowers in it and see how it goes. Now, I don't have any, I didn't shove anything in there. Like, oh, I'm giving you ideas. Well, good. That's what it's all about, right, Carla? Okay. This is a blue. I don't know what it is. I guess I just threw the thing away and what it's supposed to be, but as far as a mimic of a flower. But I thought it was pretty. And it was kind of in that blue color. And I have some red. And I found some white in my stash of stuff. So what I thought we could do is stick a few red, white, and blue flowers in here. They won't take many. And I think if I'm probably going to have plenty of time. I may come back and redo the front with the napkin. Let's see, does this say, oh, a pansy. So this is a replica of a pansy. This is a replica of a petunia. Let's see if I can find that label real quick. Nope, but we can look and see if I have, oh, I do have another one. This one is supposed to be a wisteria. Hello. I don't know my flowers, obviously. Okay. So let's clip off a few and see if we can actually, I'll do that real quick and then, hello, welcome in, Myro Crafts and Stuff. I think I, at one point in time, knew your name And I apologize. Yes, you're right, Carla. We can inspire each other. So this is where we're at. Took just a board that was whitewashed from a different craft. Put it together with one of those little, I don't know, they were little pallets. Like, I don't know. And a friend had given them to me because she does wreaths most of the time. Okay, so let me pop off a few. Red. Let's do a few. And I may have to trim them down a little bit after I stick them in there. So let's set those out of the way. All right. All right. Okay. And so I know that the blue ones are going to hang down. I'm going to have to trim them just a little bit because they're a little long. They're sticking out the bottom. I'm not a flower expert by any stretch of the imagination. I have to take everybody else's word for it. Okay, so I will turn this around so you guys can see it in just a second. Just trying to hold it up so that the flower kind of let's see. I may have to kind of find something, maybe just some crumpled up paper to stuff down in there. Thank you, Yachty. Not bad for kind of pulling it together, right? It's actually taken me less time to do this than I had anticipated. But I think what we'll do is I'm going to come back. We're going to do this again. Now, I'm going to definitely have to trim some of the trim some of the stems. But I thought, kind of get the idea with a little bit of the red, white, and blue in it, and you can, because these are just, fake flowers, you can bend them so that they're not covering like the star. We're going to move them around a little bit. So let's go ahead and take those out. What I'm going to do is I want to cover this again with this piece of, because I don't like the way it's shiny. Yeah. Anyway, you get it. We have a tendency to be perfectionists. So we're going to come back real quick and we're going to do, and I'm just going to cut one of the flags off of this napkin. All right. And this is, I think, this is I think it was a Dollar Tree napkin in a pack. Thank you, Barbara. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to grab that paintbrush. I had a paintbrush that I was going to use for the white. It's not in my water. Do you guys do that? Where you have something like in your hand and then you set it down. So it's probably in the kitchen where I was cleaning my paintbrush. So we're grabbing another one. And I'm going to give this kind of a white coat. I don't know that if I sand over or sand it off. I don't think I can sand it off. Oh, I guess I can. At least that'll help take some of it off. Because anyway, has anybody had an experience where you guys have prayed for something and God has answered your prayers? I have it happen sometimes. He doesn't answer all of my prayers, but he does sometimes. And Christina Porter is one of them. Examples that we had prayed for Christina to have virtually a pain-free surgery and healing process, and we give God the glory for that because we asked him and he delivered. He wants to give us everything that we ask for. That's his heart. It's just the unfortunate thing is we live in a fallen world where Satan is in control and we have to be in warfare against Satan a lot of the time. All right, so I'm going to see if we can't do a quick white coat over the things that won't sand off. We'll do that real quick so that I just don't want it to show through. Yeah, definitely answered many of your prayers, but not all of them. Thank you, Barbara. I want to make sure I'm not missing. Okay. Yeah. I often think that he does answer most of my prayers that I can recognize. Not all of them, because he may answer them, but in a different way, and I'm not looking in that or toward that direction to understand that he actually answered them. But it is amazing when those things happen and he answers them and you can recognize them. It's like, it blows me away, the power and the capability that he has. All right. I think that white will cover that up. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Kathy. I think he absolutely does answer them, but sometimes we as humans don't always recognize what those things might be or what he might be answering with. Oops, you're back? Well, I decided the perfectionist in me went back and I'm redoing the napkin on that little palette looking thing so that I can put a fresh napkin on because I don't like how it looks. Yes, his answers may not always be our answers. You're absolutely right, Kathy. Okay. All right. All right. Sorry, I'm just getting the white paint off of my fingers. Because, well, you guys know, I've done it before. I stick my finger in the white paint and then... Okay. So let's see, grab that. Now that I got my cup full of paintbrushes, let me try rescuing the one that I used for my Mod Podge. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a coat of Mod Podge over the top of it so that it strengthens it. So how is everybody's day so far? My day wasn't bad. It was just busy and crazy. Was everybody else having a good day? Right? It's always a good day when you get an opportunity to craft, right? All right. Let me where did I put, oh, here's my Mod Podge. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna lay it on thick because I wasn't impressed with the fact that I could sand off my napkin so easily. That means I didn't have tons of Mod Podge on it to begin with. Okay. I'll put the lid back on before I spill it. All right. So let's get this down. Okay. Let me grab my plastic again. And it's a small area, so it kind of, there's a couple wrinkles, but it's not bad. I'm pretty impressed. Because normally when I use the napkin, it wrinkles. You had a busy day, but good. Yeah, I heard you talking about, so are you like a preschool teacher? Is that what you do, Yachty? I heard you talking about the kids and that you couldn't take them out for recess. Are you a preschool? I guess I'm new, but yet I'm not new, if that makes sense to you. I'm new from the perspective of actually getting to know you, but not new from the point where I have watched some of your replays and stuff. So, but okay, so that looks pretty good, and it feels, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the top of it so that it kind of protects that napkin before I actually do any sanding, so that it doesn't rip on the edges. And you can do that. It just kind of helps. All right. I'm going to dry it again. So watch. Oh, hi, Sib. How are you? Good to see you. I'm going to dry it. And let me grab that. While I had my hand up there, I grabbed my my wax. I'm going to watch your ears. If you have earbuds in, I'm going to dry this again, and then I'm going to try to sand off the napkin. We are in an event today, Craft Events by Julie, and the theme was Honor the Fallen. I managed to get a last-minute patriotic craft put together because I'm filling in for a missing person. But sometimes, and so far, I'm not, this is not self-promoting, but I'm surprised at how nice it's turning out to be. Because a lot of times when I do things that are not planned out, they don't always turn out. And so let's be honest. I mean, this is not turning out too bad. I'm kind of surprised. But I'm gonna use the napkin, or use my little gator to try to work around the napkin to get the napkin. And I'm trying to do it gently because since I already put and we're redoing the napkin, just so those who are just joining, we're redoing the napkin because I punched through. I had one of these little thingy madads. They're like mini, it's like a mini palette. And I put the flag on with the intent of showing the holes, but then it didn't look good. So I'm redoing that. And I'm not going to punch through the holes because it looks far better. And I'm sorry, I'm trying not to miss the comments. But as you guys know, it's sometimes a bit of a challenge when you're trying to look down, focus on what you're doing, and then have conversations. But I'm thinking this is much, much better. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there, and then I'll show you guys. I think having the Mod Podge on top to kind of seal it helped give it a little bit of sturdiness so that I'm not ripping the napkin. Oh. In some areas, a little bit too much Mod Podge. There we go. And I'll show you where we're at. And I want to kind of dirty up the edge with some of my dark sealing wax to kind of make it look like it's not so brand new. Your hummingbird family is coming. Oh, you have 3 feeders? 20 hummingbirds? That's amazing, Sybil. We tried. We managed to get one. And then he left. He came, he fed, and then he left. But I think because of where we're at, it's a little bit harder. We're in the middle of the city. Okay. I am just using my dark sealing wax and I have this little, I think it was a makeup brush, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure, but I saw a long time ago somebody used one of these, and I went and found some. And they work great when you're using wax. Okay. So I am just putting a little bit of wax around the edge. There we go. Okay. This is where we are at. Okay, so I had a board that was whitewashed, and then what I did was I painted one of these crazy little things, this horrible yellow. I painted it white, and then I decoupaged the napkin onto it, and it's just a napkin that's a flag napkin that had 4 quarters that look like a flag. And so after painting this white, I decoupaged the napkin on to make it look like a flag. And then, and I took the board and I dry brushed the red and the blue to kind of give it a red, white, and blue. I had this star from something that was from like ages ago in the Dollar Tree. And so I glued it on, and now we're going to go back in. And while I am working on, sorry, I just realized I got wax all over me. While I am doing that, yeah, it makes a difference when you're in the boonies that you can get more hummingbirds. Yeah, you'll have to take pictures and share if you can catch pictures of the hummingbirds. But, so what I'm going to do is I started kind of, and I'm going to stick some of these flowers that I have that are red, white, and blue in the hole, because that's in that palette. And I may have to, let me clip. I may have to put something in there to kind of hold them in place. I'm not sure. But if I kind of put them in here, they're wires, right? So you can kind of bend them to make them sit where you want them to sit. Let's see, I need to clip, so I have the red, white, and blue. But as I'm doing this, do we have any prayer requests? I know we're going to pray for Risa, because I know she needs to have some continual healing. And we're praying for Christina, because she left early. Christina Porter, that is. I don't know how Christina Waller is doing, if anybody knows. But I know she's been trying to recover, but she's doing pretty good. She's been able to do lives and stuff, so that's pretty fantastic. All right. So now we're kind of getting a little bit of the red, white, and blue in there. And you could kind of manipulate and move the flowers wherever you want. Kind of that's where we're ended up. And then I have this, which, if I can do it without spilling the beads. So I have this, and what we can do is, I'm not quite sure how we are going to do it. This might be too big. Too big of a hanger. I think it's going to be. I think it's too big of a hanger. What I think I'll do is I'll shorten it. Oh, yes, Lisa Mary. Yes, we don't want to forget Lisa Mary. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, it's not I don't believe it's open heart surgery. I think they're going to be putting a stent in, and I think that they're going in through one of the major arteries to her heart to put a stent in, is what I think it is. Carla, you probably have more detail on that, but I believe that's what it is. It's not necessarily open heart surgery. That is much more serious. But she is still going to need our prayers for a recovery. And that, I think she said it's the 23rd. So we're still about a week away from any of the surgery. Oh, it's not until the 25th. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to pray for, a safe surgery and a quick recovery. Sorry, I'm gonna get I got all that sanding mess all over my desk. Let me see if I can clean it up so that I can. All right. So is there anybody else that needs prayers that I'm not thinking of at the moment because I have life brain? And then we'll say a prayer. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to work on the beads as a hanger, but I think that this is just using this itself is too big. So I'm going to restring the beads to a little bit shorter hanger. And I have my jute out to work on that, but I want to make sure that I get prayers in for those who need it today. And then I'll work on that little hanger and we'll take a picture and post it on the Craft Events by Julie. So we are in an event today. If you're just joining, and it's Craft Events by Julie, and the theme was Honor the Fallen. So is, being able to just honor those who have gone before us in fighting for our freedom. And so I pray for, thank you, Barbara. Pray for Stephanie, sensational reasons or seasonal reasons, whose granddaughter was, I'm trying to get all of the, oh no, in a car accident. Oh my heaven's sakes. That is horrible. The death of a granddaughter. That is just horrible. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you bumping that back up, Barbara, because I didn't see it the first time and I apologize. I was probably looking down at my craft, and well, you know how things go. So stay tuned so I'm going to go in and pray. We're going to pray for our friends. And then after me is Teresa with Teresa L Creation. So all you have to do is stay with Craft Events by Julie and refresh your page. And then, after Teresa will be Barb. So Barbara right there with Barbara's Blessed Beginnings. You'll be able to see her at the end today. So let's go ahead and bow our heads in prayer, and let's lift up our friends in healing. I'm going to pull my notes over in front of me so that I don't have to look funny when I'm trying to pray. But if you will, please bow your heads and pray with me. Oh, dear Lord, we come to you. We give you thanks and offer you deep gratitude for having the opportunity to be able to craft together, to be able to spend this time together, and to be able to be friends from afar, and support each other, Lord. And we give you the glory for that opportunity. Lord, we come to you with some petition prayers for healing of our friends and prepared healing, things that maybe we can't necessarily heal, but you can with your ability to be able to work miracles. You have that ability. And And Lord, we just ask for some continued healing for our friend Risa, who has suffered a stroke, and the recovery time is long and slow and sometimes painful, because we always want to do more than what we can or allowed to do, Lord. And we just ask that you give Risa some additional patience and continued healing so that she can see the progress and feel good about the progress that she is making, Lord, because you're the only one that has that ability to gift her with more patience, Lord. And we just ask that you be with Christina Porter tonight as she is struggling with, it sounds like her own moods, and maybe she's feeling a little depressed, Lord, because she wants to hurry up her progress with her healing and the shoulder recovery that she has undergone, Lord. And we just ask that you give her a blessed evening and help brighten her mood, Lord. And we just come to you. We are coming to you with a preemptive prayer for Lisa Mary, as she will be undergoing surgery next week, Lord. I think it's next week, but on the 25th, and she will be having work done on her heart. And we just ask that you keep a hedge of protection around her as she undergoes the surgery, Lord, and that you bless the hands of the surgeons that will be doing the operation, that they may be precision, and that there be no problems, and that Lisa Mary will come out of the anesthetic very quickly and without too much issue, Lord. And we just ask that you bless Stephanie and Stephanie's family, Lord, as they are mourning the loss of a loved one, a granddaughter no less, who was taken suddenly, Lord. And we just ask that you bless that family, that you give them the ability to heal and understand that there will be good coming out of this, even though this was not your doing, Lord, that you will create miracles and bring others to you. Lord, we just know that you can do so much with so little, Lord. And we just ask all of this in your name we pray. Amen. So it is top of the hour. Refresh your screens and let's go over and watch Teresa with Teresa L Creations. Thank you guys every little bit. I appreciate all the support and I love you all. God bless.